Okay, stop. Before you start scrolling through the video to the part with me throwing the cast net, give me about 30 seconds to go over some fundamental things with you because I don't want to waste your time and I don't want you to waste your money. So, number one is this video is made for cast nets 7 foot and under. If you're trying to throw a 16-foot cast net, good luck. I don't know how to do that either. Number two is the cast net is a tool. And you have to have the right tool for the job that you're trying to do. Just like you can't take a nail out of the wall with a screwdriver, if you get on Amazon and find you a cheap $30 cast net from China and it's a mullet net, and you think you're going to order that and you're going to go get minnows for you and your grandpa to go crappie fishing, I don't care how well you throw that net, it's not going to work. Number three, you do not need an expensive cast net to be able to go get bait. I did that. I made that mistake. I went out and bought a really expensive $140, $150 cast net. I went down to the beach and I couldn't throw it and I was infuriated, but it's because I didn't know how cast nets worked. And so I had to learn how they worked in order to throw them. And number four, this is going to take practice. Just like you didn't pick up a football and throw a spiral the first time you launched it, you're not going to throw a pancake the first time you throw this net. I guarantee it. But with practice, you can learn it. But do not practice in your driveway and do not practice in the road. Do not practice on concrete. Do not practice on asphalt. You'll tear your lead lines up and your net will be useless. Practice in your neighborhood pond. Practice in your living room on the carpet if you got enough space. Practice at the neighborhood sandbox. Or, anything like that. Clear spot out in your yard. Get the sticks. You don't want sticks. You don't want anything. Clear spot out on the grass. Make it nice and pretty. And practice there. Not on asphalt or concrete or cement, anything. You'll run your net. Now, if you have stuck with me this long and you want to learn these things, just keep listening. If you don't care or you know these things or whatever, you just want to see me launch the net, skip to right here. The very first thing we need to talk about is what net do you need? This is a 5-foot net that I got at Walmart, I think, and it was like, I don't know, 40 bucks, $38, something like that. This is a shorter 4-foot net that I got today at Bass Pro Shop for almost 70 bucks. Why is this so much more expensive than this? All about mesh size. Mesh size is as important, if not even more important, than the actual size of your cast net. It's all according to what bait you're trying to get. Like I mentioned in the beginning, if you get a mullet net, normally a mullet net has about 3/4 to an inch mesh on it, which is the size of the little holes here. The reason I got this net is because now that I'm fishing freshwater, a lot of the minnows and bait fish here are a lot smaller. I can go down there and I can throw this and I can pancake it and I can land it in schools of fish. I do all the time, and I pull it up and I might have 1 or 2 and they get hung in the mesh, and by the time I get them out, they're almost dead anyway. Huge frustration. Now, when I was in Galveston and I was getting mullet and finger mullet that were 2, 3, 4 inches long, this worked perfectly. They couldn't get stuck in it. I'd cast, I'd get them, I'd bring them out, I'd dump them in my bucket, I'd move on. But now I need something much smaller because the bait here is smaller. If you're trying to get big baits, you're going after big menhaden or big mullet, anything like that, 3/8 up to an inch will work. But if you're crappie fishing, do you want something small? Then you're going to want to get this 1/4 inch stuff. And it's just more expensive because they have to use a lot more material to make it. So, before you purchase a cast net, think about the application that you're going to use it for, because if you get the wrong net, it doesn't matter how well you can throw it, you're not going to get the bait that you're after. Another thing to take into consideration is with this, there's no, they call it a ring or a throw ring. There is nets. Actually, I have a video I did with a cast net that had the built-in throw ring. I actually gave it away to a kid here in the neighborhood that wanted to learn to throw a cast net. Little dude, if you're watching this, I hope to see you down at the river soon. You can show me everything that you've learned. I hope you're catching a lot of bait with it. So I don't have that to show you, but I'll put the link in the description of that video of how I threw that. So if you have one of those or you're starting with one of those, you can look at that too. This does not have the keeper ring on it. So this just a different type of net. But they all work the same. And the way they work is every one of these cast nets has weights surrounding the bottom. How do these weights open? They open when they spin. So if you throw a cast net and it doesn't have much spin, then it's just kind of a blob. I mean, you can kind of open it up when you throw it with your hands, but you need with that centrifugal force to get those weights turning, and that's how they separate. The faster they turn, the more they separate, the more of a pancake effect you're going to get. That was where I think I messed up. I never put enough spin on it when I started. I would throw, and it would kind of spin, and it would just kind of plop, and it would kind of just, it was frustrating. Then I saw a guy at the beach, and he was probably thigh deep in the water, and he was just loading and throwing this net. By the time I got my net loaded one time, this guy had thrown 3 or 4 times, and I was like, what is he doing? And I watched how he threw it, and it just clicked. And I'll show you what he did. All right, you did it. You survived the boring, yet useful part of this video. Now for the part you wanted to see, how I actually throw the net. I'm going to be throwing my 5-foot net out here in the yard for you, and I'll probably take it to the water and do a couple more. But first thing I want to show you is this net is not new. I mean, I've got this thing tied up, the weights aren't all even. Look, you got tore out places like that where, I mean, I beat this net to death. But it still works because the principle is still the same. You have to make the weights work for you. You need to make the weights spin so the net opens itself up. If you fight against the weights or you just throw it like a blob, you're not going to get the result you need, and you're going to get frustrated. So that is why it's so important to know how a net works before you start throwing it. Now the first thing you got is your rope. They come in all different lengths, normally 15 to 20 foot, somewhere around there. They go down to this little, some of them have a ball bearing swivel on them or whatever. This is a cheap net, so it doesn't have all that. But it's where all your lead lines are tied. Lead lines go down, and they're what attaches to this rope at the very bottom. And when you pull the net, it's what shuts it. So you need to make sure all that stuff is in order, so it not only doesn't hang on itself, but the rope can come out of your hand freely, so you're not causing your net to kink up. So you lay your net out, you take your rope, you make sure there's no knots in it. If you're right-handed, which I am, don't ever just, especially if you have like the strap, just don't put this around your wrist. Don't make it really tight, because if you was to throw and a boat ran through it and grabbed your net and this was on your wrist really tight, you couldn't get your hand out, you're going to go for a swim, and it's probably not going to be fun. So you take this, you always pull this through it. That way if something was to grab it, you can just pull this out and you can get your hand out. Very, very important. Safety is very important with this. So you get that around. I'm right-handed, so it goes on my right hand. I'm going to make arm length loops. I'm going to stack them in my hand really nice and neat, because I want this to be able to flow out of my hand. I don't want to ball it up where it's going to go in just a big kinky mess. Alright, I grab my horn. I'll pull my horn all the way up. I'm holding the net in the air. This is where you visually inspect your net, okay? You want to make sure all these lines are going down, they're straight, your net's straight, and a lot of times you open it up. You just grab one side, you just kind of pull it. You make sure it's flowing freely. Nothing is attached or kinked up or hung in anything else. There's no sticks, there's no debris. See how that lead line had that weight over it? You want to get that out. Alright, for this 5-foot net, I go about right here and I grab it in the center, like so. So now, holding my net in the center, I'm going to go right down below me. I'm going to grab the weight and the lead line, put that in my mouth. Then, I'm going to go straight down again and grab the outside line. teeth. But look, my net is pretty well open. Just holding it out like this, my net is pretty well open. Now the only thing I need to do is apply some spin to it to get those weights separated from each other. So, now that wasn't a perfect throw, but you always bounce when you hit a yard. But you can see the net is 90% open, and that's after it hit and kind of pushed together. If that was on the actual water, it would have done a whole lot better. Now the cool thing about this method is that you can load again so easily, especially if your net isn't tore up. So now I grab my line, it's already stretched out from where I threw it. I just get that together, reach down, I grab my horn, I drop it, I inspect, everything looks good, boom, boom. I'm throwing again. No flipping and tucking and putting stuff over your shoulder and this and that and this and that. It's very quick and easy. Okay, so I wanted to take a minute to do a little voiceover on the slow mode. What I want you to pay attention to is my left arm. It is very important in the way that you are going to shape your throw. Watch my left arm as I throw, how it leads the throw, and also I almost do a complete circle with it to form that and get those weights pushed away from each other. And we'll look at this again. Watch as my right arm is going to go over, my left arm is going to go under, and I'm going to use that left arm to lead the throw and also create that circular motion that is going to open those weights up. So I guess the best thing to do would be, I'm going to go down to the river and pick a spot. I'll just start the camera and I'll cast this net out 3 or 4 different times using that method and let you all see how effective it is. And I won't edit it. I'll just cast and retrieve, cast and retrieve, cast and retrieve. You can see how fast I can throw this, bring it back in, reload it, and throw it back out again and make maybe not perfect pancakes, but I mean definitely stuff that's going to get you bait. Alright, we're down at the water. Just going to walk out there. I'm going to throw this a couple times, give you the over the shoulder view. Then I'll probably, I don't know, put you on the head mount. You can see me actually do it how it looks from my angle. I don't know, I'll throw it a different, like a couple different angles so you can see what I do every time. Like I said earlier, make a loop, your hand goes through it. Make your loops nice and neat. Hold that up. Make sure everything's kosher. No tangles. See, that wouldn't have thrown. If I'd have thrown it like this, that would not have went well. Now, got the tangles out. One throw. Two throws. All right, so see I got a stick in there. You want to get that out. You got a stick in your lines, it's not gonna open. Got the loop. Goes through on my wrist. Make loops. Put them in my right hand. That's how all that looks. It's all nice and pretty. Grab the horn. I'm holding the whole net up. And I'm going to start fanning through it. Just going to make sure, oh, there's a little kink in it there. Got to get that out. Alright. All that's out. This. I'm going to go in my mouth. This is going to go in my hand. We're going to turn and spin. Pull it back in. Drop the horn back down. Look at the net. Make sure everything's copacetic. Grab it in the middle. In the mouth. Left arm down. Rinse and repeat. And just so happens, that on that throw we got a little largemouth bass. He goes back. Look at this pretty little perch. He's going back. And another one. That, my friends, is proof that it works. So look, I hope you enjoyed watching. I hope you learned something. If you try it, if you try the method, drop me a comment. Let me know if it worked for you, if you hated it, if you throw it a different way. I think I got water on my lens. I shut my camera off. What I was saying is I would love to interact with you all. So drop me a comment. Let me know. Like I said, if you try it and it works, if it doesn't work, if you want to know something else, if you got any requests or anything you want me to do, let me know. I enjoy making videos. I mean, I've got 285 subscribers at the time that I've made this. So, I mean, hopefully I'll get some more. Hopefully, if some of you are in the area, we can fish together. Want to go out with me and you're around New Braunfels, San Antonio, anything like that, drop me a line. I'd love to go out. We can get on Dunlap. We can bass fish. We can catfish, bow fish. Yeah, I just want to do stuff with y'all. So, anyway, I appreciate you all watching. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. And I'm going to keep making videos, and we'll see where this goes. Appreciate y'all. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.